All right, back again.
Yes, indeed.
It's Friday. Welcome to this week's edition of Deals Revealed, the top restaurant news, sales, listings, and our franchise opportunity at We Sell Restaurants, the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm. I'm Robin Gagnon.
Good afternoon. I'm Rob Morrison, and we're bringing you the biggest news of the week. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or even join our brand as a franchisee, this is the place to be. We'll cover restaurant news, sales, new listings, and insider tips on what's moving in the market today. So drop your questions in the comments so we can answer them live.
And by the way, if you're watching live, say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you're catching the replay, type replay so we know you stopped by. All right, ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
All right, what's happening in the restaurant marketplace? Here are the top insights of the week.
Yeah, every week we try to look beyond the headlines and focus on what's actually moving the needle inside the restaurant operations. Not just trends that sound exciting, but shifts.
Those are good.
Those are good too. We want to focus too on the shifts that are reducing risk, improving your margins, and strengthening value conversations. The restaurant's quietly gaining ground right now. They're not chasing the noise. They're building smarter systems.
Absolutely. And this week, really clear pattern. Operators, here's what it is. They're taking more control.
Okay.
Control over equipment, control over space, control over labor stability. No more cosmetic upgrades, structural improvements that directly impact performance and buyer confidence. You want to get into it?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to start with smart equipment.
There you go.
With remote monitoring, because equipment's no longer just stainless steel in the kitchen, right? New fryers, refrigeration systems, and HVAC units are now connected to monitoring platforms that provide real-time performance data. So operators can now see these temp fluctuations, energy spike, early maintenance indicators before they turn into expensive emergencies. And it creates documentation. When that equipment performance is tracked and logged, gives our buyers visibility into the asset health.
Yeah, it makes sense. The shift from reactive to proactive is significant. Instead of finding out about a problem when a cooler fails on a Saturday night, managers are receiving alerts days or weeks in advance. And that, of course, reduces emergency repair costs, protects the product, limits downtime, keeps operations stable during peak hours. And from a transaction standpoint, it matters. One of the biggest concerns in due diligence is unexpected capital expense. So when an operator can show monitored systems and preventative maintenance history, it lowers perceived risk and it supports the valuation.
It was always amazing to me in the South that your coolers would always fail 4th of July weekend, when it fell on a Saturday or Sunday. Okay, the next shift is happening inside the same four walls, but operators, they're figuring out ways to grow revenue without expanding their footprint because that's expensive. We're seeing pickup-only counters built into existing dining rooms, dedicated curbside stations, digital order shelves, all integrated into the layouts. And guess what? No new lease. No added square footage, no more money to the landlord, and that directly impacts revenue per square feet or per square foot. And that is one of the most important metrics of efficiency in the business.
Yeah, it improves throughout during throughput during peak times and supports off-premises demand without sacrificing any dine-in capacity. Buyers and lenders look closely at rent-to-sales ratios. When an operator can increase revenue inside the same footprint, it strengthens the entire financial profile, and it shows intentional design and strategic thinking, not just reactive, again, right?
Yeah.
Expansion.
Are you going to talk to us about cross-training as retention?
Why not?
Okay.
All right. It's always labor, right? It continues to be one of the largest challenges in the industry, but the solution seems to be becoming a little bit more sophisticated. Operators are investing in structured cross-training programs that allow employees to work across multiple positions instead of being just locked into one single role. Strengthens retention. Team members see opportunity to learn new skills and expand their responsibilities, which increases engagement and reduces turnover.
Yeah, that flexibility, Rob, it really changes everything. It reduces scheduling stress. It lowers the overtime exposure for the business, provides built-in coverage when someone calls out. So instead of scrambling managers adjust within the team. And from a buyer's perspective, this cross-trained team, someone other than the owner, right, becomes this major advantage. It means the business is not dependent on a single key employee who's holding everything together, and that makes the operation easier to transition and easier to finance.
It makes a lot of sense. And with that, we can transfer to our top listings this week. The opportunities this week span Georgia, Florida, and Texas, representing distinct entry points into restaurant ownership, from an independent concept with upside to strong cash flow, performance, and a fully built out second generation location. So, where should we start?
All right. Well, let's talk about what's connecting these listings for just 1 second, because these are all allowing a buyer to align opportunity with budget, experience, and long-term growth. So take it away with the first one.
Okay, so we're going to go to Atlanta. 35447 is the listing number, and it's by Nick, one of our franchise agents. And this one is listed at $345,000. This independent cafe business for sale is located in the heart of West Midtown, along a corridor with traffic counts exceeding 25,000 vehicles a day. The business generates more than $470,000 in annual sales and has built a loyal customer base in one of Atlanta's most active and developing neighborhoods. This cafe operates in a 1,200 square foot footprint with all-in monthly rent of just about $5,200. That includes the CAM, the taxes, and the insurance. Delivers predictable occupancy costs in a premier corridor. While it's not currently operating at full profitability, the opportunity lies in improved labor oversight, we're just talking about that, and cost management. A hands-on owner-operator can focus on scheduling, purchasing, and daily execution to strengthen the margins there. The listing also includes assumable debt, creating a more accessible path to ownership for qualified buyers.
All great call outs on that. And Midtown is hot in Atlanta, as it has been for years and continues.
Yeah.
All right, listing 35489 in Naples, Florida is represented by Dave Whitcomb, our franchise partner in that market, listed at $450,000. It's a profitable sandwich shop for sale with annual income of around $500,000. Documented earnings for an owner of $200,000, supported by great books and records. It's only 1,396 square feet with a base rent of around $4,400, including CAMs, and that lease is secured through June 2027 plus 2 5-year options. So you've got stability and long-term planning potential. The model is streamlined, so you've got counter service, manageable hours, lean staffing structure, indoor and patio seating. Beer and wine, that helps support this average ticket growth, while catering and off-premise revenue provide additional opportunity.
All right. And finally, our last featured listing this week is 35488. It's in Frisco, Texas, and it's represented by Jason Coleman. This one's listed at $199,000. It's a pizza restaurant for sale, fully built out second generation space, located on highly visible FM 423, one of North Texas's fastest growing communities. The 1,784 square foot location includes seating for 48 inside and 16 outside on the patio. The rent here, $8,100 per month. That also includes CAM. And the lease is in place through April 28. There's one additional 5-year option, so you have some security there. Kitchen infrastructure includes an 18-foot hood system, fryer, Hobart mixer, those things last forever, pizza oven, walk-in cooler, reach-in freezer, prep tables. There's a POS system there, and much more. It recreates this build-out today. That would exceed the purchase price easily, so it makes it a strong value-driven acquisition there.
Absolutely. So each of these top listings, right, they're delivering a different ownership strategy, independent with operational upside, high-performing sandwich shop with documented earnings, and this turnkey space in Texas where it's on fire. So
yeah, if one of those opportunities stands out to you, you can click Get the Complete Package to review financials and the additional details. Our certified restaurant brokers are ready to guide you through the numbers, the lease structure, and the next steps, so you can determine which listing best aligns with your goals.
All right, so now we're going to talk about some top insights for sellers. You know, in a lot of these articles that I'm writing, I talk about SBA lending and how underwriters and banks view risk.
Okay.
So here are some insights for sellers. And Rob, why is that important?
Okay, well, SBA financing, it supports a significant percentage of restaurant transactions, and preparation becomes a competitive advantage. Buyers today are looking at risk differently than they did just 5 years ago. No longer just about sales and owner benefit, it's about how the revenue is structured.
Buyers so sophisticated now. So if 30% of your revenue is coming from one catering client, one delivery platform, one corporate client, what are buyers going to say? Well, hey, what happens if that one single source of so much revenue disappears after closing?
Right.
So top performing sellers need to demonstrate diversified revenue streams, balanced dine-in and off-premise, multiple marketing channels, and predictable day parts.
Yeah. Buyers also evaluating key person dependency. If the owner personally manages vendor relationships, the marketing, and scheduling, that creates some transition risk. The sellers who command stronger offers can show documented systems, cross-trained teams, like we just talked about, and distributed operational control. Stability reduces perceived risk. Reduced risk supports stronger valuations and smoother financing.
And there's a new layer to this conversation this year. AI. It's no longer just a customer-facing tool, a chat bot on a website or a kiosk. The most forward-thinking operators are now using what's being called agentic AI. Systems that are working in the background on their own without being prompted. We're using some here at We Sell Restaurants. In the case of restaurants, they're flagging overscheduled labor before the week even starts. They identify over-ordering patterns. Get that, before they hit the P&L. They service a maintenance alert, as we discussed earlier, before it becomes a Sunday night emergency. So when that seller can show this business is running on smart systems, not the owner being personally present for every decision, that is a powerful statement about transition risk. The business doesn't live in your head as a seller. It lives in the operation, and that's what buyers and lenders want to see.
Wow, that's good stuff. You can start by reviewing your top 5 revenue sources, right? And then evaluate that marketing mix.
Absolutely. Identify, right, those customer concentrations that might be a matter of concern for a lender or buyer. Shift from dependent to distributed, because buyers with balanced revenue and shared operational control are viewed as stable, and stability drives stronger multiples.
Makes sense. If you're planning an exit in the next 12 to 24 months, this is the time to reduce the concentration risk and build depth into the operation. The work you do now directly shapes the offers you receive a little bit later.
Okay, and continuing, but now talking about for buyers, I recently wrote an article, Why U.S. Citizenship is Now Required for SBA Lending in Restaurant Transactions. And this is really one of the most important financing changes restaurant buyers have seen in years.
As of March 1st, a couple days away,
Yeah.
SBA loans are only available to businesses that are 100% owned by U.S. citizens or U.S. nationals. Green card holders no longer can qualify as eligible owners for SBA-backed financing. SBA loans have historically offered lower down payments, longer repayment terms, and the ability to finance goodwill, equipment, and working capital together. Losing access to that structure really can change the math.
It doesn't prevent someone from owning a restaurant. It changes how the purchase is financed. And that conversation needs to happen before you fall in love with the deal. In the blog, we talk about some alternative strategies. You've got conventional lending, seller financing, unsecured lending, but those buyers need some clarity up front in a brand that has multiple resources for them.
Exactly. And once the financing is secure, the next focus is revenue quality. 2 restaurants can report identical annual sales and represent very different levels of risk. The question not just how much the restaurant makes, the question is how dependable that revenue is. Look at volatility month to month, revenue dine-in versus third-party mix, examining catering concentration, asking for multiple years of margin history.
And here's a question worth asking, and most buyers aren't asking this yet. Is this restaurant positioned for where ordering is heading? Because the channel landscape keeps shifting in a pretty meaningful way right now. Major platforms, get this, ChatGPT is rolling out direct ordering capabilities.
Wow.
Yeah, so guests can place an order through AI without ever leaving the chat interface. They are going to monetize AI. Early mover brands, they're already integrating these kinds of things. So when you're evaluating a restaurant's digital infrastructure, ask whether the POS and online ordering systems, are they built to plug into emerging channels like AI? Because the restaurants that are set up for it today have a structural advantage. The ones that are not, they're going to be retrofitting it under that new buyer's ownership.
Yeah.
And that's a cost and a timeline that you need to factor into your offer.
Someday there's going to be like, I just think about a pizza.
And it's going to show
And
up.
a pizza arrives. Here's a qualitative signal worth weighing alongside every set of financials. The industry right now in the middle of a real hospitality comeback. During the pandemic, technology replaced human interaction out of necessity and guests adapted. Now they're actively seeking the opposite. Service that feels warm, personal, and genuine. The restaurants winning long-term loyalty these days are the ones where technology runs in the back end so people can focus on the front. And when you're comparing two restaurants with similar numbers, spend time in the dining room before you sign anything. Watch how the team engages with the guests. Notice whether there's a real culture or just operational efficiency. The restaurant with genuine hospitality has lower churn risk, stronger repeat traffic, and a brand that compounds over time. The numbers tell you what happened. The culture tells you what will happen.
Yeah.
That was
Great.
good. I think you wrote that. That was very good.
Buyers and lenders today, they're just really understand they're underwriting risk differently than they did 5 years ago. So don't stop at the income statement. Evaluate the structure behind the income. Financing clarity plus predictable revenue plus an understanding of the culture. That's what creates confidence in 2026.
Yeah, so if you want to read Robin's full article, Why U.S. Citizenship is Now Required for SBA Lending in Restaurant Transactions, visit blog.wesellrestaurants.com for the complete breakdown and practical guidance for buyers and for sellers.
And speaking of sellers and buyers, this week we're going to feature a couple of restaurant resales that reflect thoughtful exits and strategic acquisitions and the importance of the alignment between buyers and sellers.
All right, let's head out to Overland Park, Kansas, represented by Tony Maselli with We Sell Restaurants Kansas City. This one listing 25922.
So this previous owner, he was a seasoned multi-unit Capriati's operator. He'd built these solid operations, proven systems, but guess what? He was managing the business from Iowa.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and that happens frequently. This distance creates friction. Even strong operators face challenges when they cannot physically engage with the business on a regular basis. So his decision to sell was very intentional, not reactive. He wanted more time with family. He wanted to remove this strain of remote management. And the clarity on that seller's part created a smoother negotiation, because when the motivation is grounded in life's priorities, the transition is purposeful.
Yeah, the buyers bring meaningful experience. Already owning multiple restaurants, liquor stores, and other businesses, they understand systems, staffing, and scaling. But here's the difference. They are local to Kansas City, right? Local ownership changes the dynamic. Being present allows for stronger culture building, tighter operational control, and quicker responsiveness. This resale was not just a transfer of ownership, it was a shift from remote oversight to hands-on local leadership, and that position sets the stage for continued growth.
Love it, love it. Now we're going to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, a listing represented by Preston Scotto with We Sell Restaurants Charlotte. It's listing 25245, recently sold. The seller was the founder of Waterbean Coffee and a long-standing client. So we've helped him through multiple acquisitions and even dispositions over the years. But this location, it was challenging for a coffee concept. So rather than forcing performance to happen, investing marketing dollars and continuing to try to grow, he made a strategic decision to redeploy resources. And that's disciplined entrepreneurship, recognizing when a location is actually better suited for a different model.
It's smart. The founders of Palmberries, an emerging franchise concept with an active growth plan and strong operational leadership, they targeted this Ballantyne location specifically because Ballantyne is one of Charlotte's most desirable and rapidly expanding areas with strong residential density, excellent schools, and consistent professional traffic. They saw alignment between their concept and the market demographics. That alignment mattered a lot. Real estate, strength plus brand momentum created opportunity there. The buyer shared that Preston remained professional and patient throughout the entire process, guiding them step by step and making the experience smooth and stress-free. That kind of feedback reflects disciplined deal management and clear communication.
Yes, so exciting. In both these transactions, strategic exits, intentional entries, sellers stepping back for family priorities, another reallocating focus to optimize growth, buyers expanding portfolios, entering strong markets, building on existing foundations.
And when motivation is clear and execution is structured, transactions move from listing to closing with purpose. And that is what successful restaurant resales look like. Alignment, preparation, and disciplined execution from start to finish.
All right, so let's turn up the heat and talk about some hot new listings. These are backed by strong infrastructure, proven locations, and create real opportunity for the next owner. So if you're looking for built-out space, long-term lease security, and immediate operational capacity, pay attention.
All right. We're going to start with listing 35556 in Saratoga Springs, Utah. It's listed at $125,000, represented by the one and only Eric Gagnon. This Tier 1 QSR sub-franchise for sale reports sales of $1.3 million and is positioned in the high-growth Utah country corridor. You can step into about almost 2,000 square feet with seating for 44 guests, a service line designed for speed, and a layout built for fast casual efficiency. Major equipment here includes a walk-in cooler, reach-in cooler, freezer, ice machine, sandwich prep coolers, 5 prep tables, slicers and dicers.
It just keeps going and going, right?
Right. POS system, security cameras, and a fully operational grease trap. Eric wanted us to know everything that was in there.
Let us hope the grease trap is fully operational.
This is a second generation space that allows you to bypass build out and move directly into operations. That lease there, get this, runs through December 2035. The monthly rent is $10,605, provides long-term stability and a strong retail trade area with ample parking. Business operates with a trained team of 14 and a streamlined menu built for consistency. The royalties, 6%, 5% marketing fee. Corporate provides 2 weeks of training along with ongoing support. Qualified buyers may access unsecured lending up to $500,000, making it a strong entry point into a national franchise and an existing revenue.
Perfect. All right. So next listing is 35337 in Colorado Springs, Colorado, listed just under $150,000 and represented by certified restaurant broker Allison Gregory. It's a turnkey second generation restaurant for sale with sales of $627,000 and is located in one of the city's most active retail corridors. 2,200 square feet, seats more than 45 inside, additional patio seating, and shared parking. Kitchen infrastructure, it's a major asset. They have 2 10-foot hood systems supporting high-volume production. Equipment, they have a 6-burner range with oven, gas fryers, Old Hickory smoker, love that, walk-in cooler, and freezer. Monthly rent, about $8,500 triple net with a lease in place through December 31, 2030. It's offering stability and time to grow your concept. So this sale allows a buyer to launch quickly without months of construction or permitting.
So both of these opportunities offer what serious buyers are looking for: existing infrastructure, long-term lease security, and the ability to generate revenue without starting from scratch. If one or both of these hot new listings stands out to you, get the complete package to review full details and the financials. Our certified restaurant brokers are ready to walk you through the numbers, operations, and next steps to determine the right fit.
All right, so you know, Rob, every experience has layers most people never hear about. The preparation before a listing goes live, the conversations behind the scenes, the strategy, protecting value, keeping that momentum. Listen, we are deal makers. We're constantly keeping deals moving forward. So this segment is about those buyers who place their owners, who place their trust in us during these critical moments.
And when clients reflect on their experience, it brings clarity to what really defines a successful sale. Not just the closing, but the communication, the guidance, and the confidence they felt along the way. That's the standard we work to deliver every single time.
All right, and we're going to head first to Nashville, Tennessee, where Jessica Lana shared her experience working with Taylor Clemmer at Resale Restaurants. Jessica said, Taylor listed our restaurant, taking the hassle and headaches out of marketing and advertising. The pictures were great, and we got to showcase our restaurant to a wider list of potential clients than we could have on our own.
Well done. What stands out in that review is the reach, right? Jessica's team could not have matched that exposure on their own. It's exactly what a certified restaurant broker brings. A buyer network, marketing platform, and a process that removes the burden from the seller so they can stay focused on running the business right up to closing.
All right, now we're going to head to Charlotte, North Carolina, where Noor Saheed shared her experience working with Preston Scotto. She says, Preston was an absolute pleasure to work with. He remained professional and patient throughout the entire process and guided us every step of the way. His support made everything smooth and stress-free.
Wow, that was kind of two attaboys
I
you
know.
got in this. Professionalism and patience, they said, those are not small commitments. They represent the discipline required to take a transaction from listing all the way to closing.
Across different restaurants and owners, the common thread, it's a structured approach built on expertise, responsiveness, and a genuine commitment to helping clients reach their goals with clarity and confidence. Selling a restaurant is a major milestone. It deserves preparation, negotiation strength, and a team that stays engaged from start to finish.
So, to Jessica and to Noor, thanks for your trust and sharing your experience. And to Taylor and Preston, congratulations on representing the level of service our brand stands for every single day.
And speaking of that level of service,
Yeah, why not join We Sell Restaurants? Be
Exactly.
like Taylor and Preston. There's a shift happening in restaurant ownership. Thousands of operators will transition out of the day-to-day operations over the next decade, and every single one of those transitions needs some guidance. Valuation experience, buyer qualification, structured negotiations. That's where our franchise partners step in, not as operators, but as consultants, as the trusted authority in their market for buying and selling restaurants.
yeah, they leave behind that world if they were in the restaurant business of running shifts or managing food costs. They lead transactions that are changing lives and building wealth. Our operators, our partners operate inside a defined niche. We focus exclusively on restaurant, and that specialization gives you credibility from day one. You gain access to proven valuation models, national marketing reach, proprietary systems, and structured onboarding built just for restaurant resales.
Yeah, so instead of managing inventory, you're managing opportunity. Instead of scheduling staff, you're structuring deals. You build relationships with restaurant owners, franchise brands, landlord, lenders, and attorneys. You become a connector in your territory. It's a business built on expertise, negotiation skill, and professional presence.
If you understand restaurants and are ready to lead at a higher level, this can be your next chapter. We are expanding in select markets and looking for those professionals who want to build authority and long-term enterprise value in their region. If you're ready to move from operating restaurants to shaping the future of restaurant ownership, start the conversation with us today.
That sounds great. And now we want to talk a little bit about franchise resales. You know, we're talking to brands every single day, and it's something most brands don't talk about enough. Your resale market is a report card on your system's health. New unit growth gets all the headlines, but resale velocity tells the real story. How easily can someone enter your system through acquisition? How confidently can someone exit?
When a franchise resale hits the market, sophisticated buyers, they're studying more than the unit's profit and loss. They're watching how the brand shows up. How does the franchise team respond? Is there a clear approval path? Is communication proactive or reactive? If the process feels heavy or unclear, buyers start discounting the opportunity before negotiations even begin.
That's right. But when a brand treats resales as strategic events, something powerful happens. Momentum builds, and momentum shortens time on market, strengthens the lender confidence, and stabilizes royalty streams. Also sends a message to your existing franchisees that you're not trapped. There's a defined, professional, and an exit path that's built right into the system, and that matters. Operators invest differently when they know liquidity exists.
Another shift, private equity groups, multi-unit operators increasingly entering systems through resales, not new builds. So if your resale process is organized and data-driven, you attract that capital. If it's inconsistent, you repel it. Think about it this way. Every resale is either strengthening your brand narrative or weakening it.
Strong brands design their resale strategy intentionally, clear timelines, defined documentation, coordinated lender communication, performance transparency, not because they have to, but because they understand that secondary market strength fuels primary market growth. Resales, not the afterthought of franchise development, they're the proof that the model works at every stage of ownership. And in today's environment, brands that treat resales as a strategic growth engine will outpace those that treat them just as paperwork.
And that, we just returned from the International Franchise Association annual convention and had so many of those very conversations with brands that were there. Okay, and I think that's going to do it.
Yeah.
Wraps up this week's top sales, listings, our franchise opportunities. So remember, if you're buying, selling, or exploring a career in restaurant brokerage, we would love to help. If you enjoyed today's show, hit that thumbs up, share it with someone interested in restaurant ownership. Have a great weekend, and remember, our name says it all. We
Sell
restaurants.